everybody, this is Mike from the MJ Amson Furniture Company coming at you from beautiful downtown West Rutland, Vermont. What we're going to be doing today is weaving a new seat in this chair. This seat happens to be fiber rush, and we'll be replacing it with fiber rush as well. If you watched my series on how to build a bar stool, you're somewhat familiar with the process that we use in weaving a fiber rush seat. Chairs are a little bit different than bar stools because they tend to be wider in the front than in the back. So the technique that we have to use is a little different than on a bar stool, and I will be demonstrating that in this video. The tools and supplies that we will be using to weave the seat in this chair. First off, we will start with this tool that I had to make here. This is just a piece of 3/4 inch plywood with a notch cut out that goes around the rung. And I use that to tap the rush strands back and to keep them tight as I weave. Next in line, I have an electric staple gun. You can use a hand-powered staple gun, or you can use some tacks and a tack hammer. Safety glasses. It's always a good idea to have safety glasses when you're using staple guns. A set of side cutters, tape measure, a pencil, some shears, tack hammer and a mallet, a regular screwdriver, like a contractor's knife. We'll use that to cut the old original seat out of the chair. You're going to need like a hand clamp to hold the rush so it doesn't come unwoven at times when you need to stop weaving. A can of denatured alcohol, a paintbrush, some shellac, and of course we also have to have that cup of coffee. Don't forget your coffee. Some rush, of course. You will also need a bucket of water to dip your rush into. So once we get all of our tools and our supplies collected, we can get to work. I'm going to begin by cutting the old seat out of this chair. I usually just take my knife and run along the top edge all around it, and this should just fall right out. Once we have most of the seat out, we can use our side cutters to go through and pull off where this rush has been tacked along a chair rail. We have all the rush out of the chair. We want to measure the difference between the rear rung and the front rung. In this case, there's 3 inches difference between the front and the back. So we will need to divide that difference, which would be 1.5 inches on each side. I've marked that with a pencil. In some cases, they may already have been marked. This one has. When we start our weave, we're going to want to start on one of the side rails. And we're going to want our rush to come up tight to one of the posts here on the legs. Come back about 1 inch into your chair. You don't want to make sure that your tacks or your staples are thoroughly set. And the weave that we use it's the same weave that we always use. If you watched my earlier video on how to build a bar stool, I'm going to use the same pattern that I described in that video as well. And I'll go over it here also. Once we have our rush tacked to the side rail, You want to go over the top and under the bottom of the front, back to the side, over the top, under the bottom, over to the opposite side, over the top, under the bottom, and we will finish off on the front rail, we're going over the top, under the bottom. Then we'll have to go back and pull these snug. Then we're going to finish off the same way that we started. We'll come back into this opposite rail a few inches and use our tacks or our staple gun. Make sure they're set well so it doesn't slip on us. And this can be cut off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to weave this until we have filled in this 1.5 inches on each side.